Um, God bless. So, this video, I'm just gonna be talking. So, I don't know, it's gonna be a little awkward, but we're just gonna do it that way. Um, in case many of you don't know, or maybe you do know, a month ago, it's a month now, I posted a video saying that I wanted to start doing videos for God and stuff. So, and I still do. I still do want to do that. But lately, or well, this whole month, I've been pushing it off. I've been lazy. I've I just kept pushing it off every single day. Yeah. And I don't know why, truly, I don't know why I push it off every single day. Um Even as I pray, God tells me I'm being lazy. He spoke to me, told me I'm being lazy, that I keep putting it off and telling me to go do it because he's already given me grace. He's given me the influence. I know if I do videos, he'll make a way. He already said he would. And I know you can. He can do that. But lately I've been a coward. I've been I haven't been allowing myself to grow. Um yeah. So I decided to make this video to talk about it because as a Christian, I don't want to just be a Christian that only tells you the good stuff and never the struggles, never anything that you actually have to work through. Because being a Christian isn't always fun. It isn't always goody fun, great times. Being a Christian involves a lot of struggle and a lot of long suffering. And lately, I've been suffering with the battle of my mind, with my thoughts every day. Um, for context, it is currently 1 in the morning, and I still haven't slept yet. I wanted to go to bed at 10, and I laid in bed thinking for 2 hours to decide to make a video and sit here thinking for another hour, talking with myself and to God. The whole last hour, that's what I've been doing. And I don't know if this video will be good or if it will be even worth anything, but I'm gonna make it anyway because it'll be a reminder to me in my future, or maybe it'll even help benefit one of you guys that sometimes it's not easy to push yourself to do things, and even the things that you want to do, sometimes it's hard to push yourself to do it. And I thank you guys for everybody who supported me and gave me support on my first video. I appreciate it. Although I didn't do videos after that, I still appreciate the support and stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, but my main battle has been in my mind, and I've been thinking about who I was and who I want to be. And as I think back on who I was as a person, I I look at myself and I see all the wrong I've done, all the bad I've done. And many people don't know, well, many people I don't talk about who I was in the past or the bad things I've done. So many people, when they meet me who I am now as a Christian, because I've been a Christian for 3 years, and many people I met don't really know the type of person I was beforehand or the type of stuff I battled with in my mind day to day. And before I became a Christian, I was very suicidal. I didn't really care for life. I didn't really care for anything really. I was in a state of apathy, of no emotion. And I was in that place for a long time, to the point where I forgot what a smile was. I forgot what love was. I forgot what happiness was. Those things didn't exist in the world where I was before. That's where I was before. And that's more of a testimony. Maybe I'll give that on a later day. But there's been many dark times in my life where I've done wrong. I've had many regrets, many things I wish I could have changed, but I can't change them. And as I try to do the things for God, I am constantly reminded of my past mistakes. And this is what you would call spiritual warfare. It's the battle of the mind. And as you try to do good, as you try to change or become a true Christian, try to be a man of God, the devil will always come and remind you of your past. He will remind you of the evil you've done versus the good that you want to do, to discourage you, to get you off the path. Because I know if I decide to truly follow God, to be a true Christian, because I don't want to be a half Christian. I don't want to be a lukewarm Christian. I don't want to be a Christian that just goes to church and has his own salvation and doesn't tell nobody else. I don't want to be that type of person. I have come to that conclusion that I don't want to be like that. But in order to change, I have to grow. I have to be willing to do things that I am not fully comfortable with. Like doing these videos, I have to speak to people. I can't stay in my comfort zone and not speak to anybody, because if I don't speak, who will save people from their eternal damnation? Who will speak to them? If I don't speak, who's going to help the ones that are lost? Who's going to help the people that are struggling with the same battles I went through already? If I've already went through the battle, why won't I help the people who are currently going through that battle? And as I was sitting here for the last hour, thinking, talking to God, sitting here, I'm reminded of many people in the Bible, like Moses, for instance. He's one of the main people in the Old Testament, and in his past, he's a Hebrew who ends up being the prince of Egypt, or one of the princes of Egypt, right? And his people are slaves. And one day he sees an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, and he kills that Egyptian. And then he runs away from Egypt. And then 40 years go by. He has a family. He's taking care of his father-in-law's sheep. He's a different person, never went back to Egypt, until God calls him back to go save his people, to go save the Hebrews, the Jews, the ones, his people, right? And Moses, the first thing he does is he tells God that he is not worthy. He understands that he is not worthy, that he can't do it, because he doesn't believe in himself that he can do it. And this is something that I had to come to a conclusion with on worthiness. I will never be worthy. Nobody will ever be worthy to do the things that God wants them to do. No one will be worthy. The only one who was worthy was Christ. And I can't get to heaven on my own works. Nobody can get to heaven on their own works, no matter how much good you do. If I had houses and I gave houses to every homeless person, gave them food, gave them a meal, wouldn't be enough. If I helped every person that had an addiction, was addicted to drugs, if I saved their lives, helped them overcome that addiction, it still wouldn't be enough. Because it is not by works getting into heaven. It will never be by works. It is only through Jesus and accepting the grace he has given. Because I have fallen short and everybody else has fallen short of the glory of God. And this is something as a Christian you have to come to an acceptance. You have to accept that no matter how hard you work, it's not by your own works, it is by grace. You can only enter heaven through the grace of God. And this is something that it took me a while to fully comprehend and to fully accept. Because when I first started walking, I thought if I did enough good, if I was able to speak to enough people about God, then I will save them, right? So maybe that will count as redemption and stuff. But no, that is not my place. I am not the one who saves. I will never be the one who saves because I have fallen short. The only one who can save is Jesus. The only thing I do is point the direction. I can only tell them this is a way that you can get to heaven. If not, I tell them the consequences, which would be separation from God. Because that's what hell is. Hell is separation from God. And yeah, I've been a coward. There's another man in the Bible called Elijah, and as he was doing God's will, um, he ended up getting afraid of a woman called Jezebel, and he hid in a cave until God called him out of the cave and asked him what he was doing in the cave, and he was afraid. Said he was the only one serving God. And sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes it feels like you're alone. There's no one else serving God. It's just you. And sometimes it feels like that. But even if it is only you, will you stand up for God? Will you save the people around you? Because sometimes, well, I believe that sometimes you are the only person who can save those around you. So I think if I don't get up, if I don't serve God, if I don't speak to anybody else about God, who will save them from eternal damnation? Who will save them eternally? Who will be the one to show them how to get out of their troubles, how to get out of their situations, how to get out of their suffering? Who will be the one to help them? Now, I'm not talking about temporary help, like, oh, you can just like plaster it up and pretend it never happened, like cover up the scars and then they'll be fine. No, Jesus has come to heal the people that are broken, and I am one of those broken people. I am a broken person. I am not a vessel that is worthy or able, but God doesn't call people that are worthy or able. He calls the ones who are unworthy and the ones who aren't able, and he makes them worthy. He's the one who builds them to be the right vessel. He's the one who builds them to fit the purpose that he has called them to fulfill. And yeah, I don't even know where this video is going or where I intended to bring this video, but yeah. So I've been thinking a lot, but today I've come to the conclusion that I have decided to be a true Christian, and being a true Christian involves speaking to people. It involves growing, and I can't keep myself stagnant. A tree that never has sun will never be able to grow. A tree that is never watered will never be able to grow. So if I don't water myself with the word, if I don't receive the sunlight, the preaching, the word of God in my life, I will never be able to grow. If I don't pray, if I don't seek his face, I won't grow and I won't be able to help anybody. If I keep being stagnant and lazy, I am of no use and no value to anybody else, and I cannot protect myself. I cannot save myself. I am only saved and I am only protected by God. He is my only defense, and he is my only strength. He is my strength. He is my courage. He is the one I have to put my trust in. And I think the main point of this video, or the main thing that I think if anybody is going to get anything from this, it is to put your trust in God, to actually search for him. And I'm not saying that, oh, because I trust in God, you should trust in God. No, I'm not giving you none of that baloney. I'm not giving you no trust me, nothing like that. I'm telling you to search yourself, to find him yourself, to read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, to see who Jesus truly is. Don't listen to everybody else who's online telling you this is who he is, this is what he's done, this is what he's capable of. No, search out yourself and find out who God truly is yourself. You can look at other people and see how they serve God and use it as like an example, but in the end, it is a relationship between you and God. That is the only way you're going to get to heaven. It's through a relationship with you and God. And if you don't have a relationship with God, it is very simple to start a relationship with him. All you have to do is ask him that if he is real, that if he wants to have a relationship with you, to send someone to bring his word to speak to you. It could be, watch, one day you're going to be going outside and the mailman is going to talk to you about God. It's going to be crazy. You're not going to believe it. And when that happens, when the thing happens, you're going to think it's just a coincidence. You're just going to think, oh, how'd that happen? That's odd. That never usually happens. Maybe you'll get a video about talking about God. Who knows? But when that coincidence happens and you're starting to doubt and you don't think it's true, ask him once again for a confirmation and it'll happen again. Because that's the type of God we serve. He moves in mysterious ways, but my God is able and he is willing to pull people out of the darkness. I was a person that was lost and had no meaning in life, that had no value, the person that never thought of anything of himself was worthless, basically. I always saw myself as worthless, as somebody who meant nothing. And sometimes when I get down, I think that way again. But every time I fall down that pit, it is God who pulls me up. It has never been a man who went and came to save me. There was never a man who came to save me. There was never no Buddha, no nothing like that. They never came to save me. So I will never believe in them because they weren't there when I was struggling. The only one who came to me when I was struggling was Jesus. And I don't mean that like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. I mean literal. Jesus literally saved me. And he wants a relationship with each and every person. And it's up to you whether you want to receive that relationship or not. I can tell you all about him and all this stuff like that. But in the end, it's up to you whether you want to receive that gift, that that relationship, whether you want that relationship. Because he's not one of the people that forces you to have a relationship with him. He's not one of those guys. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, so he's not one of those people. He's not gonna force you to go to heaven. Because heaven is when you have eternity, you have an eternal relationship with God. And one of the benefits of God is that he gives you love, he gives you joy, he gives you peace. Some people think that you can have all these worldly things, all these worldly riches. You could be rich in this world, but when you're rich in this world, you have no peace. You have to be constantly aware of those around you for betrayal. You have to look always behind your back. You have no one you can trust truly. And is that a way you truly want to live? Is that truly the best way to live life? Is that all you want to live for? Is to have all these things? Is all you want to live for is to party, drink, smoke, to have temporary pleasure? And then once it's over, once the party's over, who's with you? What was the point of the party? What was the point of the smoking? What was the point of the drinking if you're left alone in the end? If there's nobody there who truly cares for you, that when you're rotting in a hospital bed, that there's nobody there to say, hey, I love you. I'm still here for you. All those people that you party and drink with won't be there. They won't be there. They won't truly care about where you end up in the end. The end is not what their thought is. Their thought is what's current, what is now, what is temporary. And they won't be the ones to tell you when you make a mistake that it is wrong. The mistake that you made is wrong. They won't tell you that. Instead, they'll support your decision. They'll support you destroying yourself until you die. They will support it until you die. And when they support you destroying yourself, is that truly love? Is watching someone destroy themselves day by day love? To tell them that it's fine? To tell them that they can drink every single day until they pass out and black out, until they hit themselves off the floor, till they collapse, till they smoke, till they can barely breathe? Is that truly love? To tell them that that is fine? That that is a way to live? That that is the best option that they have in their life? Is that what true love is? But as a Christian, you have to understand, or you have to come to terms that they have to accept their own relationship with God. I can't force it down my loved ones' throats. I can't tell them, I can tell them about Jesus all the time. But they'll end up hating me for it. But that's fine, because I care about their eternity. I care about where they'll end up in the end. I want them to be in heaven with me in the end. I'd rather them hate me my entire life, but in the end, if they have a chance to accept Jesus and accept a relationship with Him, and knowing the peace, the joy, the love that He has brought into my own life, and keeping it to myself and not sharing it with them, or the people who are stuck in addiction, stuck and lost out there, what am I doing then? What is the purpose? Why would I keep all of that to myself? Knowing that I was lost and I was destroyed, broken in this world, and knowing that there is somebody who can save them as He has saved me, why would I not speak to the other people around me about Him? Because I am afraid. But being afraid, what is the point of being afraid? Being afraid hasn't brought anything good. Hasn't brought me any benefit. It truly hasn't. The only thing it has done is beaten me down. So there's no benefit in fear. As in the last video, fear isn't even of God. It's of the enemy to keep you stuck in your bondage, to keep you stuck in your addictions and your chains. But once again, it is your decision whether you want to follow Jesus or whether you decide to be a true Christian. You can be a Christian who sits in church, accepts Jesus, and just sits there day by day, but you will never grow. A tree that is planted, whether you water it, you can't. If you're not having intimacy or spending time reading, spending time praying, spending time growing in doing the will of God, you're not watering your tree. You're not taking care of yourself. You will produce no fruit. And a tree that produces no fruit is worthless. It does nothing. It doesn't provide any fruit. No farmer wants a tree that doesn't produce any fruit. It's not worthful. And that tree has nothing to produce. It's producing nothing. It's just there until it withers away. But once again, I don't know what the point of this video is or where I truly wanted to go. But I just ask that you contemplate what you truly want. Is what you want is temporary pleasures until the day that you rot? Or would you like to find out if this God that I am talking about, if this God that I am going to be speaking about is true? Do you want to seek and see for yourself to find out if it is true? Or would you rather take the risk and never search? and find out in the end that it was a mistake. You made a mistake, and that you cannot fix it. But once again, I don't know. I'm just lost in my thoughts. But hopefully, this video was beneficial to maybe somebody, even if it's one person. It was worth it. But yeah. I just ask that you seek God with your heart, and may He bless you and reach out to you. God bless.